So, this is not the video I planned on making. Let's get into it. What up, good people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope all of y'all are doing well out there. And that's right, y'all. I did not plan on making this video, but here we are. The original plan was for me to actually go out and take the X-S20 on its first inaugural shoot. If you've been watching this channel, you know that I just recently sold all of my Sony gear. I picked up the X-H2S, I picked up the X-S20, and I haven't taken the X-S20 outside to go shoot yet. I have been using it in the office for both top-down shots and a little bit of A-roll, but it has not been outside for any street photography or any capturing video, so I figured this would be the inaugural shoot. The plan was to go to the La Jolla Art and Wine Festival just because, you know, fall vibes, and I just wanted to show y'all how fall happens in San Diego and just some of the stuff we got going. And so I was gonna get a good mixture of both photo and video. I had my recipes set. I grabbed a couple of recipes from the Fuji Style app. One was Classic Cuban Negative and the other one was Neon Dreams, which I thought would be good for the scenarios that I would be shooting in. I would be outside, it'd be a sunny day, but then there would also be pockets of shade. And so being able to switch between those two recipes for photo was gonna be nice. But then for video, I was gonna be shooting in vlog mode, 6.2K open gate, and I was gonna be shooting with Reala Ace because I wanted to show what the Fuji X-S20 can do as a hybrid camera if the user did not want to do any type of color grading, photo editing. They just wanted to get good colors straight out of the camera. And so that was the original plan for the Fuji X-S20. And for a while it was going well. You know, I was moving about, I was capturing some good photos, I was checking out the exhibit, capturing video, just seeing all the people there, all the artwork there, just capturing the vibes, capturing some of the characters that were there as well. And I was getting some good shots, getting some good clips, and you know, everything was cool until it wasn't cool, because as you might have guessed, the Fuji X-S20 overheated on me. Now, mind you, I'm out in San Diego. The weather was probably around 75 to 80 degrees, and so it was fairly warm. And so those conditions do kind of facilitate a little bit of warmth in cameras, and so that's not too surprising. And also, quite honestly, before purchasing the X-S20, I had watched a lot of videos on it, a lot of video reviews, and I had heard that it can overheat, but I've also heard those sentiments behind a lot of other cameras that in actuality, when you get to use them, they don't overheat as fast. The X-S20 was exactly what people were saying. It overheated pretty quickly, and you know, it was a little disappointing. And the only reason I say it was disappointing is because I had been so used to using this XM5 here. I've been using it for about a year. I need to make a video on that 1 year later. Been using it for about a year, and I had never had any overheating problems. And so just knowing that the XM5 has the same sensor, the same processor, in a smaller body than the X-S20, kind of surprised me that the X-S20 would overheat while the XM5 never gave me any problems. Now, maybe it's just because the XM5 is a newer camera and Fuji figured some things out with it to keep it from overheating, but I gotta be honest, I'm kind of disappointed in the X-S20 that it would overheat so fast. When it overheated, I did first get the yellow warning, which was fine. I was able to keep shooting, but then when it got to the red warning, it prevented me from shooting the 6.2K open gate video. So I wasn't able to record any video, but I was able to still shoot photos. And so that's kind of what I did. I just kind of went out throughout the event, shot some more photos. I was also resorting to switching my camera off to let it cool off a little bit, walking around. And then once I saw something I wanted to shoot for video, I would switch it back on and switch it back in the video mode. And that kind of helped out a little bit. You know, that got me back in the game, so to speak. I was able to shoot both photo and video as long as I was switching my camera off between stints of shooting. And so the first experience shooting outside with the X-S20 wasn't a great one. You know, I wish it would have lasted longer without overheating, but I didn't just leave it at that. I gave it another shot. I tweaked some of the settings, and I actually took it to a pumpkin patch in another part of San Diego in order to see if I could replicate it or maybe see if I could fare better. And I will say it worked a little bit better. You know, the main setting I changed was just switching from boost mode for the performance to normal mode, and that kind of helped things a little bit. I still got the yellow warning, but I never got the red warning, so I was able to shoot photos, I was able to shoot video. This This time at the pumpkin patch, I shot an f-log2 in 6.2K open gate. I don't know if that makes a difference shooting log versus shooting with a film simulation, but overall I do think it performed better the second time I shot with it, just changing that one setting. Some other things I've heard as far as helping with the overheating is making sure that, you know, you're shooting on a V60 card or higher if you're going to record 6.2K open gate. Maybe keep the screen flipped open so it's not right up against the camera, that way you can get some airflow going through. You know, I think those settings definitely helped. I do still think I would feel more comfortable if I just followed the practice of switching on the camera when I'm not taking shots, and then when I'm ready to take shots, just go ahead and switch it on. The one setting I need to change on the X-S20, if I'm going to do that, is having the auto update custom setting be enabled. I typically keep that off, especially on my Fuji cameras with the film simulation dial, just because if I'm shooting on with a particular recipe and that film simulation dial gets bumped, it's gonna auto update that recipe and it's gonna mess me up. But with the X-S20, it's not quite the case. Yes, it does have that dial that's mapped to film simulations by default, but I can always change that and then just update the setting to auto update my custom settings in order to remember them when I switch the camera off and then switch the camera back on. That way when I turn the camera back on, I don't have to go back and adjust all the settings I previously had. And so that's just kind of me just mentally working through the process of shooting with the X-S20. And quite honestly, I could have kept this a secret from y'all. I could have told y'all, hey, X-S20 is great. But no, I want to be real with y'all and let you know that yes, I do have overheating issues with the X-S20 as well, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I have used cameras long enough in order to know, okay, this is the technique that I need to employ. If I'm going to use this camera, this is what this camera is good at. This is what it's not good at. And that's what it's all about to me. Part of the fun for me is learning these cameras in and out. That way I know, you know, how they perform best, what scenarios they perform best in, what I can use them for, and how I can really get the most out of them. And so, you know, I just wanted to share my experience with the X-S20 with y'all because I'm keeping it. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna disregard it. I'm not regretting selling all my Sony gear. I just now know, you know, what the X-S20 is capable of, what it's prone to, and how to get over those issues. And so I'm gonna keep rocking with this. I'm gonna keep using it, keep testing it. Same with the X-H2S right here. I'm learning its ins and outs. I just think it's important to sit with a camera, learn it in and out, and, you know, just being able to use it to the best of his abilities, get the best out of it. I don't think there's a perfect camera. I had problems with my Sony cameras as well, but I ended up rocking with those for 7 years. And so just because cameras have problems or have flaws doesn't mean you should automatically disregard it or automatically start looking for something better. Just wait it out. Just get to know your camera, and overall the flaws really won't be a problem. Now, if it's a big flaw, yeah, I totally understand. But if it's a flaw and you know you can work your way around it for as long as possible, just go ahead and do that. Now, on the other hand, if you're getting paid to use your camera, if you're on productions, if you're doing on important photo shoots, wedding photography, videography, you're doing important things where the performance of your camera matters and you feel that the flaws are really hindering your overall performance on the jobs that you're getting, by all means, go ahead and switch. But I'm saying if the flaws are easy enough to get around where they don't really affect the job that you're doing, rock with the camera. You know, all cameras have flaws. I'm not trying to say that any of these are perfect. I really just want to wrap with y'all really quick because honestly, I felt like this was a learning moment for me, you know, just learning this camera's drawbacks and just saying, okay, if I'm going to continue to use this camera, what techniques do I need to employ in order to get the best performance out of it and the best image? And so would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Have you had any overheating issues with the X-S20, with the XM5? How are you overcoming overheating issues? How are you overcoming any other flaws that you may experience with your cameras? Are you ready to just sell it and switch brands or switch cameras? Or are you rocking with it? You rocking with it, getting around it, and, you know, making it work for you. But with that said, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. That's about all I got for today. If you like this video, go ahead and drop it a like. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to stay informed on all my future content. I got some good stuff coming up. And until next time, y'all, I will catch y'all later.